Hello!
Howdy, how are we all?
How do you do, lot?
Right,
We're back again.
Yeah, we are. We're back again. Next episode. A few things to talk about today. A few games, a few films. We've actually been good this month.
Yeah.
We've actually been able to find something.
Yeah,
for a change.
We've not got the February blues
No,
that we
that's
had
it.
for January's episode.
No, but I think I've looked in the future for the next few months, and I think we should be.
We're good in the next few months, are we?
We should be.
We should be. I won't hold my breath.
Right, right. So as per usual, we've got a few news stories from the Metro. We've got a couple of games that are coming out in the next month or so, and we've also got a few films that are coming out as well. We'll start off with the films as we normally do.
Aye.
And we're going to jump straight into a bit of a new retake on the story with Tomb Raider.
Yeah, Tomb Raider. Lara Croft.
Lara Croft. It's Alicia Vikander who's playing it this time, but from what I've seen in the trailers, the game looks, the film looks very much like the game, which I quite enjoy.
Well, I'm not being funny. She's got to be better than what's her face, who played her last time.
Angelina.
Angelina.
I don't know. Angelina weren't too bad in the first one, but then the second one went completely off piste.
I didn't like either of the Angelina Jolie ones. I can't personally say I was a fan. It just didn't feel like Tomb Raider. And what I know a few people have been saying about this is, you know, because it's a Tomb Raider film, can we raid our fucking tomb already?
Well, the whole point... I mean, to be fair, Tomb Raider, to begin with, back in the early days of the game, she was a Tomb Raider. But nowadays, she's just more of an adventure archaeologist. She's a bit more like Indiana Jones now than the traditional Tomb Raider.
But that's what a lot of people are saying, though. They want her to raid a fucking tomb at last.
Yeah. Well, I mean, save that for the games, isn't it?
You know what
raid tombs
you
in
know
the
what
game.
I'd like to see? I'd like to see her trap the butler in a walking
in the fridge.
In the walking fridge.
The one thing everyone did from the game.
I want to see that, man. Can you just imagine that? Can you follow me, Giles? Just come in here. Bang! Good luck.
I mean, the new film, it looks very good. They seem to be following a similar sort of story arc to the first Tomb Raider game from 2013.
Yeah.
So not completely, but very similar storyline. She's going to an island. She's got to try, you know, it's a father disappeared off this island. She wants to carry on her dad's work. So very much like the first game. From what I've seen from the trailers, it looks very action-packed, very, you know, heavy on the CGI.
Sorry, I've just noticed something about the related news. The main actress, Alicia, joked her breasts are not as pointy as the original Lara Croft.
No, that's because the original Lara Croft in the 90s universe of the games was literally had fucking polygraph boobs, mate.
That'd do, that would. Can you imagine trying to crop a feel and then my hands have been chopped off?
I mean, cast-wise, the cast looks very solid, to be fair.
Emily Carey as a young Lara.
So, you know, I mean, the cast looks like it's going to be pretty solid. There doesn't seem to be an overabundance of cast members, which is good, because I think sometimes a lot of these films, they think,
there's like 500
we need to put 500 cast members in it, and then it's like, yeah, but why?
What are they going to do? Well, we'll have Vin Diesel as thug number 1. We'll have The Rock as thug number 2. Jason Statham as thug number 3. It's like, no, you don't need it.
Other than a couple of people, Nick Frost, Kristen Scott Thomas, I can't say I recognise a lot of the names there. Daniel Wu maybe, but other than that, the cast looks very fresh, which is good because we need fresh.
We do need fresh actors. Like, I've got no problem with all these films coming out and having these classic actors. You know, your Stathams, your
Stallone,
Schwarzenegger,
Jolie, all of these traditional actors.
I've got no problem with that, but we also need to bring in these new actors, and that's something we do need. And I hope this film does well for that.
I mean, I hope the film does well as well, mainly due to the fact that the rebirth of the Tomb Raider franchise in game form has been fantastic.
Yeah, they're good. They're good games,
and I think that it'd be really nice to see a rebirth in the film universe as well, and for that to be equally good. I mean, yes, I could be clutching at straws and going, well, the game's had a lot of success, so the film should be, but I think
we've got to.
From what I've seen of the trailers, the amount of thought, the amount of process that they must have gone through to get the film, to the stage that it is now, we should be looking at a good film.
I also, I like films that are bringing in these new actors. That is another reason I love the third Expendables film. Yeah. Except for Ronda Rousey, you'd not heard of any of the new guys.
No.
And, they also had what's his name in, didn't they? The dad from Spy Kids.
Oh yeah, Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, but ignoring those two, I'd not heard of the other 3 or 4 blokes like from the new team, and I liked that. I liked obviously, I get the idea of the Expendables, but I liked the fact that Stallone was like, "Hey, new kids, come and hang with the old boys and let's have something new."
So that's Tomb Raider. She's out on March the 16th.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'll be going to the cinema, but it depends on money. But other than that, it would definitely be worth a watch.
Yeah.
Right, Pacific Rim Uprising. I can't say I was majorly impressed by the first film.
I can't say I was majorly impressed. It was all right.
It was watchable, but I don't know.
I don't think they can go. I don't see what more they can really do.
For me, I think it's quite popular type thing at this moment in time to be doing the sort of Japanese anime style type.
Yeah, it is.
Bringing the big robot. I mean, that is classic Japanese anime.
It is, yeah.
For me, it's not really. I don't know. It's not for me. Not really.
No.
I think I will watch it.
Yeah, I'll give it a watch, but not why.
It's not something that I'm desperate to see.
I'm not going to cinema.
You wanted to have a talk about this, A Wrinkle in Time,
yeah.
which is a upcoming Disney film.
It is, and it looks. See, Disney at the minute have a horrible habit of. They're either releasing your animated stuff for your kids, or then there's the Star Wars and Marvel for you. Let's be honest, it's aimed at adults. Other people go. This seems to actually be one of those movies that comes around a bit like your Pirates of the Caribbean. They seem to have hit the nail of everyone can watch it. Your kids can come and just have fun, but then your adults can go, oh, there's like time travel and space travel and all the rest of it. Because the way I saw the trailer is it seems to be the father was working on, say you wanted to go from Earth to Mars, it would take you a few years or whatever. He's looking at, you could, rather than obviously between point A and point B, you take the shortest route, you bend time and just go, bloop, and you're from one place to the other instantaneously. He was looking at bending time to do that. And it's basically his daughters trying to free the dad with help from people who sort of, they know this can happen and they don't like that it can happen. So that's what they're trying to do. And it looks a good film to me.
Once again, from the main stars of the cast, Reese Witherspoon, Michael Pena.
Reese without a spoon, yeah.
They're like the two main big names there, but once again, a lot of newer, fresher faces.
I'm glad Disney's also going down this route of newer.
Well, Disney have always been down the route of trying to get newer people in because obviously they've got so many strict rules about their contracting.
Yeah,
most people go off do another film, then actually break a term in their Disney contract.
Yeah,
like Anne Hathaway, she showed her tits in Brokeback Mountain,
yeah,
and then Disney went, no longer working for us, bye.
Well, it made me laugh. That's why Robin Williams wasn't in the second Aladdin film, but came back in the third because he did the first one obviously as Genie, but then. Because it was Robin Williams, Disney were like, okay, we'll give him what he wants, and then for the film, and then try and sign him on properly. And then in the second film, they were like, here's the standard Disney contract. And he looked at it and was like, no, threw it at the face and fucked off. So then they did the second Jafar with the guy. He does Genie's voices. He did them for like the toys, the radio releases, the press release, all this kind of stuff. The stuff you didn't need to pay the fortune for Robin Williams for. But then in the second one, because the second one didn't do great compared to the first one at all, they thought, ignoring the bad writing, because Disney will never admit they write a bad film, they thought it was the lack of Robin Williams. So for the third one, they were like, yeah, we can just go with your standard contract.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, the third one didn't do too well either, so they were kind of like, let's just draw a line under Aladdin.
So that's A Wrinkle in Time. That'll be March 9th. We also, once again, touched upon Pacific Rim. That's the 23rd of March. Also out on the 23rd of March, one for the kids and for families.
This is what he wants to go and see.
It's Romeo and Juliet's sequel, Sherlock Gnomes. It looks really good. Grumpy Goat here, he hasn't even watched the first film.
No.
If you watch the first film, you'll know it's a great family style comedy musical. The whole thing was based on Elton John songs. Elton John wrote.
You're still not selling it me, you know. I don't want to watch midgets run around in hats.
The other garden ornaments in this one have disappeared, and they hire a detective, Sherlock Gnomes, to come in and basically help the situation. It's once again got Emily Blunt in it, James McAvoy, Maggie Smith, you know, a lot of the same people that were in the first film.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp's now in this one. I believe he is actually playing Sherlock in it.
Didn't he play a detective in some... Well, I know he's played detectives.
He's played lots of things.
But he's played detectives,
I think he has, yeah.
Yeah, that...
But no,
and
it'll be a great film for the kids to watch, and for those adults that have also got very childlike tendencies that like kids films. It will be a good film.
I'll take your word for it.
I've no doubt about it at all. And then that one once again, as I say, is out on the 23rd.
There's I Kill Giants coming out as well, which I think's on the 23rd as well, or that week starting. I've not seen a lot about it, but I did see the trailers.
It's from the people that did Harry Potter.
It is.
So...
I was just about to touch that.
I mean, you've got
Barbara Thornton struggles through life by escaping into a fantasy life of magic and monsters. It looks like, if you guys have played Alice Madness Returns or seen Alice Through the Looking Glass, not Alice in Wonderland, Alice Through the Looking Glass, it's a lot more like that meets killing monsters.
And then we're going to touch upon the last film that we want to talk about, which is out at the end of the month, March 30th, which is Ready Player One.
And I am so hyped for this. Guys, I've read the book. I want to see I want to read it. I'm reading it again before the movie comes out. I don't care. I want to see the film. And you know what I want? I want game publishers who own the rights to the games that are mentioned and portrayed in it to give them the right to use it so we can have a Ready Player One game. Because I tell you what, because of the way it works, it could be a great 3-player game. Or an amazing single player. You could do both.
So, the whole game is basically set in a virtual reality world.
Where people go to escape the real world, because the real world is... Basically, guys, if you know anything about Detroit, the whole world's now Detroit.
So they basically escape the real-life world to go to a virtual reality world called Oasis. Now, the creator of Oasis has died. And he's basically left a little challenge for everyone to find his Easter egg. And whoever finds the Easter egg will get his money. So basically, the whole thing is basically a race through the game world to find this Easter egg to become rich. There should be...
It's basically, you've got normal people, and then the company Oasis, who own Oasis, the guy who was like the direct, you know, obviously the owner dies, and then the next guy down is like the bad guy, and he wants it all for himself. So he basically pays professionals to go in and find it, and they basically have to complete 3 challenges. At the end of the 3rd challenge, if you complete it, you'll get the egg. And it's based on sort of your early games. So there's you've got things like Pac-Man and that sort of thing, and your Marios and all that. You've also got, though, a lot of your other cult classic sci-fi references. You've got your Trons. You've got your.
I was going to say the film has a very sniffy feeling of Tron too.
Yeah. There's Tron all over it. There's oh god, Back to the Future. There's all that 70s, 80s good stuff of games and movies that you loved is in this film. This is one that you can take your kids to go and see it because it's fun, it's funny. It's a PG-13, but it's fun, it's funny. You can go and see it yourself because you're a big nerd, and then you can take your mum and dad to go and see it as well, because you can go, you were my age during this, weren't you, Mum? And she'll go, yeah, I was. What are you implying? And your dad will be sat there going, I remember fucking playing that. I remember wanting one of them when I was younger.
The film, and from what I've seen of the trailers, it does look like it'll be a very good film. It's Steven Spielberg. Yeah. The man's very rarely does a bad film.
Reading the book, you can, if you imagine it as a film, you can imagine Steven Spielberg writing the film, and the author of the book had a lot of input on the film as well. So it's like it should be there. There are obviously when you write a book, you have a lot more freedom because you're only writing about things. You're not using visual representations of the thing. So I'm well prepared for the movie to not have certain things because they couldn't get the licenses from the company, because the companies wanted stupid amounts of money for their licenses, whatever. I'm well prepared for some things to be missing. Advantage, of course, Steven Spielberg he makes a lot of movies now, but back in the 70s and 80s, he made everything. So all of his stuff from then he's just gone, yeah, it's all mine. Because that's the thing with Steven Spielberg. When he directs a film, he maintains a good chunk of the rights to them. So they're his films. So that there's going to be a lot of old school Steven in there as well. And it's mixed in with the new age tech of VR. It's going to be brilliant. Remembering bits that I can from the book, I can almost see which bits are going to be skipped, because you've got to fill more time in a book. If a book only lasts an average reader 2-3 hours, which is your average film nowadays, it's not a good book. But I can see which bits. You can almost imagine that when the guy was writing it, he almost went, if this becomes a film, this bit doesn't need to be in it, because it could be explained in like a 2-second, hi, I'm Fred, hi, I'm Joe, scene. And that would do it. In the book, it's, a real expanse of shit going on, but you can see where he's gone. I could also have just gone, hi, Fred, hi, Joe, boom, next scene. That could be it. So he did well when he wrote the book to think about this sort of thing. But that is the film. It should be a
good film. Like I say, March is looking like it should be a relatively good film month.
Yeah.
In general, so we'll leave the films there and we'll move on to gaming now.
Yeah.
And we're going to start off mentioning a couple of remakes / remasters.
Yeah.
The Devil May Cry HD collection has basically been remade for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox, and the PC. So if you like the original Devil May Cry games, then it'd be definitely worth looking into getting. Then they're remaking the Assassin's Creed Rogue game. Remastering the Assassin's Creed Rogue game for PS4 and Xbox, which I know with Assassin's Creed Rogue, the way that Ubisoft did it when the Xbox came out, Ubisoft promised fans of the Assassin's Creed series that they would continue to make games for the Xbox 360. They did, but only one, which was Rogue. I think with the Assassin's Creed Liberation and the Chronicles, I think you could access them on Xbox 360.
What, through like the live arcade or whatever they call it? Right.
But realistically, the game. I mean, Rogue. Anyone who took the time out to actually play Rogue would agree that it's one of the better Assassin's Creed stories.
Since what, like the original 3?
Probably still. The reason being is
what?
So Assassin's Creed generally you are an assassin. You go around and you're a part of the Assassin Order. You do your assassin shit. Rogue, you were a member of the Assassin's Order, and the game this game of Rogue is actually set before Assassin's Creed 3.
Because 3 was the pirate one.
No, see, 3 was the American Civil War.
That was it, yeah. Wait, you did have a boat mission, and that's where Black Flag was born,
right? And then what they did is they basically took all the best bits of Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Then they put the story before Assassin's Creed 3, which focused on... Because in the game, in Assassin's Creed 3, you're Connor, but you meet an older assassin. I can't remember his name now. But it's focused around when he was younger, basically. And the whole point is that you are an Irishman in Rogue, and you're a part of the Assassin Order, and the assassins tell you to go and retrieve this piece of Eden, which all of the games are
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
So you go to retrieve this piece of Eden, but when you do, you actually destroy the city. You remove this ball, sort of thing, and it causes a major earthquake, and the entire of whichever city you was in falls to bits.
Right.
And you escape, but you killed hundreds, if not thousands of people. So you go back to the assassin to basically say, no, we're not touching these anymore. And they're like, no, yeah, we are. You'll do as you are told. And he goes, no, do you know what? Fuck this. And he runs and he becomes a Templar. So the whole game is you are an assassin that decided to go against the assassin order and join the Templars because the assassins were acting more like Templars now.
So is the whole thing basically like the black and white of both sides is they're really
the same.
They're both as bad as each other.
Yes, exactly. But
and I'm assuming that's the whole Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Because I know in the original few you're led to believe Assassin's good, Templar's bad.
Yes.
But then did this and some other games start to throw?
Well, basically, the idea is to show you that realistically, the assassins will, given the opportunity, act just like the Templars do. And the Templars, given the opportunity, will act just like the Assassins.
And was that done in just this game, or was it
mainly just in this game? But there has been little touches, little nods of it. But Assassin's Creed Rogue, for me, it had all the best features of Black Flag. So you still had a ship, you could still upgrade that ship. There was still a lot of pirating going on. There was on-sea warfare. It was really, really good. But then they added this little thing in where basically you're no longer an assassin. You are a Templar, but you. Whereas in most of these games now, you'd go onto a part of the map and then you'd destroy this tower and take it off the Templars. You're now a Templar, so you're having to put up with the fact that there's assassins hidden in bushes. And while you're running around the map, you might be able to hear a whisper, and then all of a sudden some fucker will come out and try and have you. So the whole game premise sort of took Assassin's Creed, flipped it on its head and went like, there's a game. And I really, really enjoyed it.
I can well imagine then that had like a different director and team behind it.
No, I think it was still very similar on the team that created the game. But I think they just wanted to give players the opportunity to sort of see that the assassins, yes, are very good, but at the same time the Templars can also be good. It's all a matter of opinion and where you're looking at the situation from.
Right.
So that's coming out middle of March for a remaster. So if you've not actually played it yet, then please do go and play it, because it is one of the better Assassin's Creed titles. Much better than I think the one that they released at the same time as releasing that was the one set in France.
The
French Revolution going on.
Yeah,
I can't remember which one that is.
I'll have a look while you talk about the next.
But yeah, but that was Assassin's Creed Rogue. So that they came out at the same time, but it just shows you a difference, because personally, Rogue is much better than the game that came out at the same time. Then we'll move into Sea of Thieves, sticking with on sea warfare.
Yeah.
So Sea of Thieves is an up-and-coming action-adventure, massive multiplayer online RPG style game. You are basically a pirate. You will be creating a ship, creating a crew. You will obviously, like I say, it's MMO, so you will be online doing these things, which basically means that if you are like me, that prefers Unity, that was it. But if you're like me with a lot of games, I prefer the solo single-player arc.
Yeah, Rogue and Unity literally came out in the same year.
Yeah,
same year. And then there was Syndicate.
Yeah. But no, Sea of Thieves, it looks quite interesting if you like to play online, basically. For me, I mean, I'm not a massive MMO player.
No.
I don't really get into them very much. I like more story-driven. Even if it's open world games, I like there to be a single-player story arc there that I can just plough hours into.
Yeah, I know what you mean. A lot of people are talking about it though, Sea of Thieves, and the main issue I've heard from a lot of people is that it's going to be 50 quid on release. It's only coming out for Xbox One and Windows 10. It's a Microsoft game, so it's not overly surprising, but they're asking 50 quid for it, and a lot of people are saying this feels like a 30 quid game.
I mean, until we actually get the opportunity to give it a proper play, we're not going to be able to really gauge.
Well, people are playing the open betas, and that's where it's coming from. And these
for me, any game that's over £30 or £40 is too much money. It doesn't matter what the game title is.
Unless you said to me, this is an 80-hour...
So basically then the only game that would realistically go with that would be something like Metal Gear Solid 5.
Your Metal Gears, your Final Fantasies... Those I'd pay 50 quid, because you're getting like... even if you play it fucking, you know.
The only thing I can think of is with Sea of Thieves, if they're charging 50 quid for the base game, then surely they're going to have to throw in you a couple of, like the first couple of DLCs for
Oh yeah, easy. But
I mean, with it being an MMO, I mean, I'm assuming they're hoping it's going to take off like to the levels of World of Warcraft did.
Yeah, and stuff like
that. But at the same time,
but yeah,
I feel MMO as a genre is now starting to change a bit. Because you don't really get the World of Warcraft style MMOs out there as much as you used to.
Well, that's because the problem is with games like World of Warcraft either buys them or sues them into oblivion. And because these are smaller development teams that don't know what they're doing, they go, well, we'll just give up then. Because
I did actually see the new Warcraft game, like a little bit of little gameplay out of it. It's like Skyrim. So if it's like Skyrim, it should be okay. But for me, I'm not. I probably am not going to be playing this game. And if I do play the game, it'll probably be on like a trial basis.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be going out and spending 50 quid on it. And by the time it comes down to where I would want to pay for it, about 20 quid, there'll be no one on the servers anyway.
No, I'll agree with that. But I mean, like I said, the main thing I've heard from a lot of people is it's like it's a 20-30 quid game with a 50 quid price tag. If you want to offer me a 50-60 quid game, give me 80 hours of single player content where I can run about all day completing missions, story missions. This is not just side missions. I want 80 hours of straight gameplay. So that's casual. If I want 100% the thing, I'm looking at 100+ hours. Even if you want to speedrun it, you're looking at like 5, 6, 7 hours, and that's if you are, you know, everywhere to go. You know the skips, you know the little cheats that you can do. That's the game I will pay 50 quid for.
Right, we'll move on then to the biggest title being released in March, which is Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
Now I have to admit, in the early days of Far Cry, I wasn't a major fan. And then I played Far Cry, a little game called Far Cry Primal,
which we spoke about,
which we talked about.
In a previous episode.
In a very, very previous episode, like episodes 1 to 5, I think we mentioned
I'll have a look.
But then I played Far Cry Primal. I absolutely adored the game. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to have to start playing Far Cry. So I played Far Cry 3. Very, very good game. By the way, that's also being remastered and coming out again soon. If not already. And then I played Far Cry 4, and I have to say Far Cry 4 was possibly one of the best open world games that I've played in a long, long time.
Right.
Now, with Far Cry 5, I've been watching the trailers, I've been watching the gameplay, I've been watching the little tips and tricks on new things that are in this game. I have to say I'm very tempted to pay whatever the company are selling it for. It looks really good. They've added a lot of new things into it. It looks fantastic. It's the first one that's actually set on American soil. The other games have all been set on like remote islands or you know, other places. Like, I mean, the last one, Far Cry 4, was set in the middle of like India.
All right.
But Far Cry 5 is American soil. You're going against like a hick town, if you like. But to me, it looks fantastic. I mean, I like this style of game now. I didn't really used to, but I don't know why that was, because I find myself now thinking, why didn't I like Far Cry? Right, you bastards. Fucking bastard and audacity decided to crash, and we basically recorded just over an hour's worth of material. So
it stopped half an hour through.
So
we are half an hour recap in about 10-15 minutes.
So, right, basically, we were just talking about Far Cry 5 as much as you know. No.
Yep.
Go and buy the game, because it should be fucking brilliant.
That was the last game.
And that was pretty much what we were talking about. Right, we're going to run through the Metro now, because we've literally just had a conversation about
I'm just going to go over what I was talking about really, really fucking quick. I mentioned Kingdom Hearts really quick. Coming out, New Worlds. Looks like there's going to be like 4 additional people with you as opposed to the 2 of Donald and Goofy. Worlds confirmed. I'm scrolling through my phone. We have got Tangled, Big Hero 6, Mount Olympus, Twilight Town, Monsters Inc., Mysterious Tower, Tangled and Toy Story. Probably coming back are Winnie the Pooh, Little Mermaid, Jack Skellington, and I think that was about it. I mentioned 4, but I can't remember Aladdin. There we
Aladdin.
go. Right, there we go. Now we're going on to the fucking Metro.
Right, now we're
not recording this again.
We've just gotten really angry about all of these stories, so
I'm now more angry because I'm not talking about them again.
Right, so okay, so the first story is a dad was branded a paedophile by Travel Lodge staff for staying in a hotel with a daughter. Now we were talking about this a minute ago, which you don't know about. So basically, this guy he was going to see his dying mum. She's got cancer. She's not very well at all. Not got long left. So he took his 14-year-old daughter from Wales on a 4-hour train journey to go to where his mum was. They stayed in the Travel Lodge. They booked into Travel Lodge. Travel Lodge said they only had 1 room left, which was a double room. And the man thinking, well, I'm not dragging her around the entire of the city for somewhere to stay. Said, fine, we'll take the double room. So then 10 minutes after being in the room, fucking armed police burst into the door.
Bang, 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 hello, police.
Accusing him of being a paedophile. Now, he was with his daughter. He was not a paedophile. Travel Lodge have basically tried to pass this over as, oh, well, we've done this.
What we're supposed to do.
We've done this in the past, and therefore we were in the right. No, you weren't in the right because you didn't ask any of the appropriate questions. You didn't check to see who this girl was. Right, you just accused the bloke because he was an older bloke with a young girl. You was like, right, he's definitely a pedo. Get the police in. It's fucking disgusting, and it really pisses me off.
And if this was a woman, you wouldn't have thought
twice. If this was a 42-year-old woman with a 14-year-old boy booked a double room with a fucking 14-year-old boy, the police wouldn't have been called because they'd have just gone, oh, that's nice of her, isn't it? Right, it's fucking disgusting, and what people need to do is stop believing that men are the worst things on the fucking planet because realistically, we're not.
Yeah. Travel Lodge, I hope you go bust for this. Guys, if you have had any experiences bad with any travel company,
then let us know. And let us know what you think about Travel Lodge branding this dad a paedophile. Right, next. A mother is angry because she got $2.99 earrings and put them in a 3-year-old daughter's ears, and her daughter's ear nearly fell off with an infection. Well, there you go. Don't pierce your kids' ears.
She's 3. She can't fight that kind of
Don't pierce
bacteria.
Your kids' ears. Let your kids grow up a little bit. Let them make the decision on whether they want it when they're older and know a little bit more about the world. Yeah. 2, if you're going to buy cheap earrings, don't, because they are always made out of nickel. They're almost certainly always going to give you a fucking infection of some description, because the amount of people now with nickel allergies and copper allergies are over the top.
Ridiculous.
And basically people shouldn't even be using nickel anymore to make jewellery.
3, when if you're going with your kids and they're at school, do it during the summer holidays. First week, get them done. Then they've got time to heal, because when they come back to school, guaranteed the teacher's going to say, ow. Why? Because they can be hurt. Also, we checked the poll. We were in the 88% who said, should kids have their ears pierced? We were in the 88% that said no!
Because children shouldn't have their ears pierced, especially a 3-year-old, because, like we've said, they don't really have the immune system to put up with the fact that they're going to have something jammed in their ear hole. 2, if you are going to have your 3-year-old's kids pierced, don't use the cheap shit. This cheap shit was a pair of what looked to be very cheap looking butterfly, ladybird even.
Yeah.
Ladybird earrings. Which
and she bought them because apparently they're her daughter's favourite.
Now, if ladybirds were my daughter's favourite and she wanted ladybird earrings, if she had her ears pierced, which she doesn't, but if she did, then I would go out and I would spend money on, say, I would spend
You go to a jeweller,
I'd probably spend 15, 30 quid on a pair of silver or gold.
You go to a jeweller, not a fucking...
I would go Claire's Accessories or something stupid. I would go and buy proper surgical grade silver, steel, or titanium, whatever.
Yeah.
But I would buy something that's not nickel, because nickel causes too many problems. Yeah, don't have your kids' ears pierced because it's fucking disgusting. Keeping on with the pissed off.
Has it stopped? Are people not listening? No, people are still listening to us.
Speaking of pissed off, a woman, a disabled lady, just before Christmas, in the 10th of December last year, had 18 care agencies banned or barred from going to give her any care.
By the council.
And this lady has now died.
Was this Portsmouth?
In Portsmouth. This lady has now died. Now, we were just talking about this because we're pissed off about the fact that there's so many cuts now that people that are vulnerable and need the care aren't getting that care anymore. We were also touching upon the fact that the leader of Portsmouth Council, the Conservative MP, she didn't even know this was going on. She found out about a week ago or so when the council had an inquiry over the woman's death. And she found out at that point. Now, this just shows you that people in these councils make their decisions, but without checking with the proper authorities first. Now, this lady has died. Now, personally, I would be suing Portsmouth City Council for as much money as I possibly could do, because as far as I'm concerned, they are the ones that are responsible for the fact this lady has died. If she had still been receiving care, the chances are she'd still be alive.
Yeah, they did it because apparently she was abusive to one of the workers.
She was verbally abusive the once. Now, as I've said on many occasions before today, I used to be a carer. In the care profession, you do get a lot of verbal abuse. You do get a lot of physical abuse as well. And the reason being is these are people that you are dealing with that are frustrated. They can't do what they used to do.
Yeah.
They don't potentially have the same grip on their own mental health as they did years ago. It's going to happen.
You get abuse in any job.
You get on with it.
If you can't handle a bit of abuse in whatever job you do, you're not right for that fucking job. Go and live in work in a fucking lighthouse.
Yeah. Right.
Wimps.
Now, this should have been sorted by the time you are hearing this story.
We'll say this for the 5th time.
KFC have run out of chicken. Still makes me laugh, though.
I know.
The biggest southern fried chicken supplier on the planet has no chicken left. Now, there are a few stores that there is a list that you can go to, which is kfc.co.uk/cross the road.
Basically, if you're in a big city, your KFCs are all
your
right.
KFCs are generally going to be okay, but the smaller ones aren't going to be at all.
Yeah.
Now,
if you're the Queen, you can. We did find out
Windsor still is doing chicken. Now,
so, Queenie, you'll get some orders through later.
KFC are saying basically it's DHL's fault because DHL are their new supplier, their new couriers, and the couriers couldn't manage to deliver to 900 different stores, and it's fucked everything up. Basically. So there's going to be teething problems with any new venture. So, like I say, by now, KFC should still be open. If it's not, let us know. We should already know, but if it's not, let us know. And let us know if you've actually been to a KFC recently and you was told, sorry, there is no chicken.
Yeah, and I compared it, because I didn't know, I compared it to, I said, didn't McDonald's run out of the Big Mac Grandays? And you said they solved that in like a day?
Yeah, basically the Grand Big Mac came out on day one. They run out of stock across the entire country. There was a national shortage. Within like 1 to 2 days, on the first day, McDonald's released like a fleet of thousands of vans to restock every McDonald's with the burgers and the buns. That's the difference. McDonald's knew that they were running short and they wanted to make sure people were happy, so they made sure that they got the supply. Personally, KFC should have had a contingency plan in place for if shit went wrong with the deliveries.
Especially when it was because this is a new deal with DHL.
Yeah, they should have had a contingency in place. It's their own fault. Unfortunately, if you want KFC and you're still listening to us now, you should be able to go and get some. If it's not, then let us know. Okay.
You have to go back and then...
No, we'll do this one.
We'll do this one and then
we'll end on the right note.
Right.
So we're also pissed off, keeping with the pissed off theme.
Except for that KFC.
Because no, I'm pissed off about KFC. But anyway,
he wants his chicken. He likes his chicken.
But there was an angry note left on an ambulance by a woman saying, "I don't give a shit if the whole street had collapsed. Move your fucking van." She is a twat, and the reason she's a twat is because this ambulance is parked outside of her house to save someone's life. And she don't care about that. She's like, this is my parking space. You've got no right to park here. It's mine. It's mine, I tell you. Not yours, mine. Well, I'm sorry, love. It's not yours neither. It's the fucking council's. Right?
If she paid for it, they'd have painted the lines. Is that right? That's what he explained earlier.
If she went to the council, made the council a very money-led offer onto buying that little bit of land outside of her house,
and then paying maintenance,
and then paid maintenance on it, she'd potentially be able to buy her own parking space. But as the law states at the moment, just because it's outside your house, don't make it your property. Now, I know this because I have a lot of parking issues on my street. And I've looked into...
Ain't your issue because of people not on this street
parking. But I've found that, unfortunately, there's nothing that you can do about it because you don't own the parking space outside your house. Yes, it may be your preferred parking location, but it's not yours.
Is that why that, like, if you live in like the centre of towns, they you have to get the permits to park in certain places? So
yes. That's why if you live in a city centre, you'll have to go to your city council and pay X amount a month to get parking permits to be able to park your car outside your house.
Right.
Otherwise, you will find that your car will either be clamped, towed, or it will just be taken away and crushed. Simple. This woman is a twat, and hopefully...
the ambulances will remember her when she needs one.
And they won't turn up. Or if they do turn up, they'll park 3 streets away and walk to her.
Yep. Are we still recording?
Yep.
Yep.
Right.
I'm fucking nervous now.
Right.
Man,
so the last news story we're going to go through, and I'm really sorry, guys, that it now seems that we've just literally rushed through the metro. It will be sorted for next time. It's just because of the recording issues we've had today.
This has happened twice now, so I've got an idea about what we can do. So I'll run it. I'll check it when we're done.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, the last story is a passenger farted on a plane so bad
they
had to land. Now, this necessarily isn't because of the farting as such. This is because this guy was on a plane farting. And the passengers next to him weren't happy about him farting and therefore kicked off at him, started an argument, got into a bit of a kerfuffle. And basically the pilot was forced to land because the safety of the passengers on board was affected. So realistically, it wasn't necessarily the farts, it was because of the people being a dickhead about man farting. I was explaining earlier, before we got cut off, that basically... this potentially wouldn't have been so much of an issue had smoking still been allowed on planes because...
Or they had the systems
Or they still had the same system because when smokers were allowed on planes, they had a filtration system which allowed the air on the plane to be released into the atmosphere and fresh air brought into the plane. Therefore, fresh air circulated through the plane all the time. Nowadays, they don't have that system in place. You're actually recycling the air that's in the plane, and therefore you're actually breathing the same air whether you got onto the plane and you've been on the plane for an hour or you're on the plane for 12 hours. You're breathing the same air as you did when the minute you first got on to the minute you got off.
Yeah.
Now, that is the reason why the smells and anything else may have been amplified because it would have run through the system 3 or 4 times and amplified it. Still, when you're on a plane, if you're going to break wind, you're going to break wind. There's nothing you can do about it. But please don't be the sort of dickhead that's going to turn around to someone and try and throw a punch at them because they farted. It happens. They probably farted themselves. You know, I get this guy was sat there and he had been sort of said, you know, can you try and tone it down a bit? You know, can you calm it down, sort of thing? And he didn't. He just didn't give a shit. He was just farting. Well, luckily he didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
It was just farting. I get it, but
apparently, as I've just seen, which we didn't mention last time, the guy who got thrown off is now seeking legal action for getting thrown off because he was humiliated.
Good. Good. He should be. He technically should never have been thrown off the plane if all he was doing was farting. The people that should have been thrown off the plane was the people that tried to go for it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, people need to... I don't know. They need to calm down.
Yeah. Stop being so sensitive.
That's the same note.
Yeah.
Have they arrested her?
What? Oh! Update on the ambulance.
On the ambulance one, sorry, it's just been updated. I didn't see it. The woman has actually been arrested on suspicion of public order offences because of the abusive note to the ambulance staff. Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. Good, I'm happy about that. There you go. Don't go leaving fucking passive-aggressive notes on ambulances. You will get arrested for a violation of public order. Ha ha. Back to the farting.
Yeah, back to farting.
Back to the farting. Basically, I think that, yes, the guy possibly could have even gone to the toilet on the plane to done the farting, maybe clear his bowels.
Yeah, have a shit, mate.
But at the same time, the way that it was reacted against was completely wrong. And because this guy was thrown off, and what makes me laugh is the guy that was thrown off is a law student, which means that he'll probably represent himself.
Yeah,
in going against this company, I would imagine he is going to win some sort of battle against them and get some.
What you'll probably find is the company will just give him some money out of court. But yeah, right. So this will be a shorter episode,
only by about
15 minutes.
15 minutes shorter than usual. Once again, me and Anthony would both like to really apologise that we've had to rush through the metro system. That we've had technical issues on this recording and the last recording as well. We're definitely going to try and get this sorted and up to date, and we will be with you next month as usual. We should have another jam-packed show.
Yeah,
we're looking
plenty of movies, plenty of games for next month.
We're looking forward to it. So we'll catch you next month, and bye.
Bye.